People deluded. The grind don't stop. Arsenal versus Huddersfield is on Saturday. That's off the back of us claiming 4 points in the draw, which just went yesterday in the 2-2 draw against Manchester United. Obviously on Sunday, terrific 4-2 victory over Spurs. But the grind don't stop. It's a good Premier League season in the sense that City are ahead of everybody and they won't be caught, but Liverpool are doing what they can, removing Manchester City for example for a second. It's a good little race in regards to the top 6 places. Chelsea have gone from undefeated to losing to Wolves and question marks. Liverpool are grinding results. I don't feel, last couple of games I watched from Liverpool, I feel they've been below par, but they're getting the business done. This is the period we're at essentially. Spurs, they lost to us, but they're still in amongst the pack. There's not much to say, really. United, obviously, they got a point against us, but they're kind of behind everyone, but they're still mathematically there. So every week, essentially, the table is changing. 5th's going to 4th, 4th is going to 5th. People are moving from 3rd and 2nd, consistently moving. So we've got to continue what we've been doing, innit? 20 games unbeaten. I'm sure it's 20 games unbeaten. Good 4 points, especially. Of course, we've dropped 2 points on one hand against United, but a point at United, we would have taken that before. We would have taken a point against Spurs and we've won. We've been doing what we needed to do. Yes, defensively, there's question marks and it's not all rosy, but we just need to keep winning at the end of the day, man. We really do. Let me look at our next fixtures after Huddersfield, because I'm so sure we've got Spurs in the Carling, Carabao Cup, whatever it's called, and I'm so sure us versus Liverpool is this month, December as well. Apologies for shaking the screen, people. See what I'm saying, people? It's a bit booky, because if I look at our fixtures that we have after we play Huddersfield, God willing we win that. Stop off next week against Carabao. Then on the Thursday play Carabao. Then on that Sunday, we got Southampton away. Now Southampton away, we dropped points there last year. We drew there, and we all remember what Mane's done to us a couple of occasions. Chesney doing his nonsense there. St Mary's or Southampton away, regardless of their managerial issues or their team issues, is always going to fill Arsenal fans with nerves. We've got to play Spurs in the Carling Carabao Cup before playing Burnley. I do think we'll beat Burnley, but Arsenal versus Burnley, it's last few games at the Emirates or even their place. It's late minute winners, it's dodgy goals, it's penalties, there's all sorts of things going down. We obviously lost to Brighton away last year, so we need to put that right. And the game I was referring to, we've got Liverpool on the 29th of December, the last game of the year essentially. And then on the 19th of January, damn, we got Chelsea, god damn. But so yeah, you can see the fixtures are coming fast. We need to just take points essentially. If we look at the Premier League table, or pardon me people while I type it in, I should have got all of this information before. We are 5th, 31 points, level with Chelsea. If Chelsea don't win and we win and we're on 30, we'll be on 34 points. We put ourselves in a good position. Obviously Spurs still have to play as well, so you'd think they'll take 3 points in their next fixture without knowing who they play, so they'll be on 36. So all we can do essentially is do what our Spurs lads have taught us and put the pressure on, but that's all we can do. United, they're on 23 points. If they put together a run, you don't know what could happen. I'm so sure Chelsea play City. It'd be a good result if City beat Chelsea, but if Chelsea win, likewise for Chelsea fans, it'd be a good result. But maybe City can do us a favour. But back to Huddersfield versus Arsenal. It's a game you expect to win. When I think of Huddersfield again, I'm not watching them religiously, and I know 4 might not be kind to them. Like again, if I flick back to the table and I look at where they are, I know the last recent run of games, their form's up a small uptake. I say that lightly, but what, they sit 17th on 10 points. If they lose, they could drop. I mean, potentially Fulham, Burnley, and Southampton could all go ahead of them. I think Huddersfield go down for me. Cardiff, they could overtake Cardiff and Palace, and even Newcastle, depending on if results go their way. And obviously there's goal difference, but they can draw level on points with a lot of them. So there's a big enough carrot for them. If we look at Huddersfield's results, before I speak on their results, one thing that I want to say, it scares me, but when I think of Huddersfield, I think early goals. Like, I'm so sure there's been a couple of games this Premier League season where they've scored literally within the first 5 minutes. But if we look at their results, back to their results now, 2-1 defeat on Tuesday against Bournemouth. I didn't watch that game, but yeah, Bournemouth put in 2 against them, so they were unlucky in that. They lost 2-1 to Brighton. They beat Wolves 2-0. They drew with West Ham. They beat Huddersfield beat Fulham 1-0. They lost 3-0 to Watford. Liverpool have beat them 1-0. They drew with Burnley, and Spurs have beat them 2-0. So, and Chelsea beat them 3-0. City hit them for 6. So, what do I feel about them? I do feel they're a side that could score early goals. They're a side that we should be winning. They're a side that can't keep a clean sheet like us. 2-0 Spurs is a calm result for them. So you could say you'd expect Spurs to score more. So maybe they held Spurs to a degree, damage limitation. Liverpool had to grind out a 1-0 win. So that, for me, already there's 9 goals between Chelsea and City playing them is disregarded. This is a side, I assume they'll come to the Emirates, remain rigid, be defensively solid, try and outnumber us in midfield, make sure they're on point in terms of fullbacks, make sure the wingers are doubling up with their fullbacks against our attackers and fullbacks, and go from there. Obviously, they've got people like Moy that can take advantage of certain situations. They haven't scored too many goals, again, without seeing if the stats have changed. I'm so sure their top goal scorer has 2 goals to his name, so they're not the biggest of scorers. So they can score goals like you've seen in the last 4 games, they found the back of the net 3 times, so they do know how to score. We have to give them credit. But you think if you score 1, they're not going to trouble you, and it could be a thing where if we take the lead first and foremost, which I like to do against sides like this, they have no choice but to come out and try and get something from the game. Because if you can imagine, if you make it a calm 10 minutes, which you have seen historically at Arsenal, for sides like this, you're allowing this team, which sit fighting relegation at this moment in time, to build confidence away from home, to build confidence in themselves and try and have a goal. What you want to do, what we need to do, is get at that midfield and defence from start to finish. Ask that defence questions, make them start moaning at each other and shouting. You look at Lawsall, you look at a couple of their players, every time you watch Match of the Day or their games, there's individual errors within their game. They're not playing, they're still losing, but they're not playing as bad as they have been. And we've got to be careful. They've got 2 straight defeats. People probably think and a lot of people probably think Arsenal walk all over them. You have to be fearless of a team or any individual in life and in football who has nothing to lose, because I would be fearless in that approach. I think they're a very energetic side as well. I think they're very committed. I actually feel, I wouldn't say they play expansive football, but they're a better side in possession than people give them credit for, and they can create and fashion chances. So it's not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. It's one where we should win. Don't get it twisted, people. But you see what I'm saying? So, apologies, people. Low battery. But moving on now. We've played on Wednesday, they've played on Tuesday, so we've got 1 less day recovery. The boys will have Thursday off. Then obviously Friday they probably return to session, assuming this is what they do. Then Saturday is the match day. So obviously there's a golfing class massively between the 2 sides, but you can never discount what an extra day or an extra 24 hours in terms of preparation, in terms of rest, in terms of whatever is done to play a Premier League opponent. As football gets stronger and stronger and sides get more competitive, the margins for victory or defeat are getting smaller. So, yeah, that's something to think about. It would be a good week for us if we essentially win, because we would have got 4 points off the 2 top 6 rivals and 3 points here, and it would put us back in 4th, depending on results. So that's all we can ask for that we do, to be fair with you. Yeah, they make a lot of individual errors. They get caught. I want to press that back 5 or 4 or whatever they want to do. I've already said that. But that being said, they've got some good technical-based players. They've got Beeling, who's all right. They've got Moy, who's already shown that he can be a match winner or decide a match for them. They've obviously, I don't feel Pritchard's necessarily been in good form, but he's an ex-Spurs player, so maybe he's got a big enough carrot, and he's technically based, a very good footballer. So they've got problems. They're a better side. We've got to be switched on at set pieces. Early goals, like I said, because they're a bit partisan. I've seen a couple of them score goals in the first 5 minutes, literally. Yeah, our defense isn't exactly good, but like I said, they got a leaky defense. Their fullbacks as well tend to get caught. I mean, is it Smith? I don't know how frequently he plays, but Smith and definitely Drum, they've been at a lot of fault for the goals they've conceded or just in their poor form. So we need to get at their fullbacks, take advantage of the space their fullbacks leaving behind, and intimidate their fullbacks, essentially. We cannot be complacent. They probably will be a tough side to break down. They've probably been training all week defensively. So yeah. And if we look at stats-wise, they must be better than last season. I mean, they only scored 28 goals the whole of last season. They've got 10 already, so they're doing all right in that regards. They've got 3 clean sheets all season. Ours isn't much better, but these are things you need to take advantage of. I've already said that their top goal scorer has only got 2 goals at the moment in time, so this is a side we should be winning. With that being said, formation or how we should set up is a bit of a weird one, because I don't necessarily feel you need to go 3 at the back again against Huddersfield, because it's not the same context as the last 2 games we've played. Not too sure if 3 at the back could work, because do we even have fit centre-halves now? I mean, Koscielny got 85 or 80 odd minutes against Portsmouth for the under-21 side, but I don't know if he's ready, or if Unai Emery deems him ready to compete or be in contention for the game on the weekend. Mavropanos I think he's back in training, but he's still injured, and he still seems to be getting setbacks every time I look or every time Unai Emery speaks. Not sure Monreal, if Monreal and Kohler can play at centre-half. Kohler's not a centre-half, we know, but we've seen Wenger do it, and desperate times call for desperate measures. El Nene can be played there as well. So yeah, we're a bit stretched for defensive options of sorts, if that makes sense. But I'd probably go 4 at the back, to be fair, conventional 2 centre-halves, 2 full-backs essentially. So I think at this moment in time, the defence kind of picks itself, people. I mean, or the back 5 picks itself in Leno. Leno's obviously in goal. Right back Bellerin. Centre-halves, you've got to go Mustafi and Socrates, because Holding's injured now. God willing, it's not a serious one. Left back Kohler. If Monreal's fit, then I'd probably like to get Monreal back into the side in some capacity, but I don't think that's a thing. Midfield, Xhaka's obviously back. At least I think he's back after he served his suspension, so Xhaka comes into the side. Xhaka and Torreira for me, without a doubt. Xhaka, Torreira. I want to say Ozil. I actually want Mkhitaryan to play, but I think Ozil won't play. So I'm good. You know what? I'm gonna go with my gut, which would be Xhaka. It would actually be, for some reason, Xhaka, Torreira, and Mkhitaryan in the 10 role up front. In fact, you know what? Move Mkhitaryan to the right hand side. Up front, we've got Lacazette and Aubameyang in some capacity. And in the 10 role, I'd bring back Mesut Ozil. I don't know what's up with Mesut Ozil. If not, I'd play Ramsey, because actually, I don't feel Ramsey had the best of games against Manchester United. But I feel, because of how I think Huddersfield are going to set up, and because of how I think the game will go, it'll probably be completely different. I feel maybe Ramsey's runs in behind or runs forward could be of benefit to us, to be fair. Or you could play Guendouzi, to be fair with you. Let me do my team again, people. Let me write it down. Leno, Bellerin, Socrates, Mustafi, Kohler, midfield, LT. I'm going to shock you, look. I've changed my mind already, people. I'm sorry. I've changed my mind already. Yeah, I've changed my mind, people. But I'm going 4-3-3. I'm going Leno in goal. I'm going Bellerin, Socrates, Mustafi, and Kohler. In midfield, I'm going with Guendouzi, Torreira, and Xhaka. I feel it's a game for expansiveness, and I feel it could be a game for Guendouzi's youthful exuberance, in the sense that at times he vacates positions unnecessarily, but he likes to play forward constantly. He likes to connect very well. United, especially in the second half, I feel he was playmaking to a very good extent. Ramsey's obviously a bigger goal threat than him, so I was considering Ramsey, but I feel Guendouzi provides us a bit more balance than Ramsey ever could. So I'm going with Torreira, Guendouzi, and Xhaka. He's not perfect, but you saw we missed him against United. So that's going to be my midfield 3. Up front, I believe you've got, in regardless of what capacity, even if one has to start out wide, Aubameyang and Lacazette for me. You got to get Ozil back in this side. So I'd say Ozil in a 4-3-3. Ozil occupy one of the roles in the free roam thing. But I actually would play Mkhitaryan, so I've put a slash. My gut initially was Mkhitaryan, so I'll go with Mkhitaryan, but either one would be cool. So to recap, Leno, Bellerin, Kohler at left back, centre halves in Mustafi and Socrates, Guendouzi, Xhaka and Torreira in midfield, Aubameyang, Lacazette and Mkhitaryan as our attacking options through the middle sort of thing, as our front 3 essentially. So that would be how I would set up against David Wagner's men, but I think they've got to be respected. Any air of complacency that has been creeping into our game, I want it out. I'll make a weird prediction. Something tells me we're going to win this 2-0. I'd like a clean sheet as well, because we don't keep too many of them. Ultimately, I'd just like 3 points, and yeah. Come on, Arsenal, bruv. We've been in some good form. 20 unbeaten games. We're doing what we need to do, man. And if we want to get top 4 and win Europa League and things like this, games are coming thick and fast, and we need to answer the test. So in regards to my preview, in regards to the game on Saturday, I've got nothing more to say, and I've wrapped it up. So yeah, people, comment, subscribe, and do the rest. And it's a Red Army thing, Una Emre's Red Army. We're going marching out on Saturday and taking 3 points and returning to the top 4, God willing. People, thank you very much for your time. Deluded, I'm out.